In this video, I'm going to be sharing how to grow a Facebook group. So I grew a Facebook group from 0 members to over 70,000 members. What started out as a little Facebook group has actually grown into a pretty big organization. So I founded Love Her Wild, which is an online women's adventure community. And not only has that grown into this organization that takes thousands of women on adventures each year, but it's also built a career for myself, and it's provided loads of really cool opportunities, including going on adventures, giving talks, writing books, and winning awards. Now, when I started that Facebook group, I didn't really have a big plan of what it was going to grow into. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine how big that Facebook group would become and how much it would change my life. But it's important for me to say that I did all that without spending a penny. There was no big investment, there was no marketing campaign, I wasn't running ads or spending any sort of money on growing this group. And in the beginning, I didn't have any idea what I was doing, but I've learned a lot along the way, and that's what I'm here to share with you today. Now really is the best time to be launching a Facebook group, because Facebook and also all the other social media platforms are favoring communities and groups over pages. So that means that if you do it well and you do it right, the algorithms are going to be working in your favor, and having a group is going to be a lot more successful and help you grow much bigger than having a page. And that's relevant whether you are, let's say, an interest group and you want a community based around a certain interest or hobby, whether you're a charity, an entrepreneur that wants to grow a community to support a side hustle or a small business. Before I kick off, I wanted to mention my book, Gather. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing some of the tips, some of my top tips and some of the things that I did that helped me successfully grow my Facebook group to what it is today. However, there's only so much I can go into in a short video. Really, if you're serious about making a success of your Facebook group and growing an online community, then you need to grab a copy of Gather. I'm going to put a link to this in the comments below. I'm really very proud of this book. Not only does it share my own journey and all my advice on how to grow a Facebook group, but I also interview loads of other community leaders, and they are really generous with their thoughts and their insights and their journeys, and there's loads to learn from them. So grab a copy, you really won't regret it. I'm going to kick off by saying that you need to get your Facebook group right from the beginning. That means having a very clear, obvious brand. That means a color scheme that you use throughout, having a really nice logo. I use Canva to design all my logos. You obviously need a name for your Facebook group, and if it's not clear in the name what your Facebook group is about, then also include a subtitle. You'll also want to have a very clear description, and now is the time to set guidelines. As a minimum, I would suggest every single Facebook group has a no advertising rule. That means that other groups and other businesses won't misuse your community group, because you want that to be a safe space. And if you haven't already, make sure you've got your Facebook group set to private. There is no benefit in having a public group, because anyone can access the content inside without having to be a member, and it will also discourage people from posting because they know that anything they post is public and anyone can see it. So set it to private and create that exclusive community feel that you want for your group. Before I put any energy or focus into my own group, the first thing I did was actually go and join loads of other Facebook groups. So I mostly focused on Facebook groups in the same industry or the same interest, which for me was other outdoor and adventure groups. But there is also benefit in joining successful groups in industries and interests that are completely different, but who are doing things really well. By joining those groups and engaging and becoming an active member of those groups, you really start to learn what members enjoy and what posts are really successful, and you can see what those community groups are doing really well and also what they aren't doing well, and you can really learn from this. If you become active in those groups and you start answering people's questions that they've got, then this is a really good way to put your name out there, and it might benefit you down the line, because depending on the rules in different groups, there might be opportunities to mention your own group, as long as you don't step on other people's toes. That's not okay. But in many groups, they don't mind if you post if it's relevant and you're answering someone's question in the group. If they say, for example, they're looking for someone to go hiking with or to go camping with, then you can suggest maybe posting in the group that you've set up. I found this to be a really useful tool in advertising my own Facebook group and just generally getting my name and the name of my community group out there. When I was ready to focus on my own group, the first thing I did was use the invite feature on Facebook groups to invite every single one of my personal contacts, invite them and then send them a message directly to ask them if they would mind doing the same for their contact list and inviting all their friends and family who they think might benefit from the group or might find it interesting. You might find this a little bit cringe initially, I know I did, however it's just a really great way to give your group a bit of a boost of numbers initially, because joining a group where there's no members is pretty intimidating. So probably one of the best things I did right while growing my Facebook group was being an active and engaged and genuinely interested member of my own online community. It can be really tempting to launch the group and then kind of leave all your members to it to do all the engagements and discussions themselves because you're busy doing all the overall admin and other things. However, you really need to lead by example, and by being an active member, by posting regularly, by getting involved in discussions and using the group yourself, then you're kind of demonstrating to your members how you expect them to use it and how they might also be able to benefit from this community. One thing that worked really well in my Facebook group was scheduling regular posts. So once a week or maybe once a month, scheduling a post that encourages your members to share or to get discussions going. So in my group, that could be anything from sharing adventures that you've done that month, so everyone in the community can get inspired from those, or sometimes we start discussions on what people's favorite tents are, or if they've got any adventure book recommendations and things like that. Really, your main job as a community leader is to try and encourage all your silent members to get active and to start posting and getting involved in topic discussions. You're always going to have those active members from the beginning, but these posts act as a really good benchmark to try and get your more silent members involved. Another thing I did quite early on that worked really well was celebrating your members. So this could be just putting a post out thanking your most active members from that week, acknowledging if anyone does something really kind in your group, like going out of their way to support someone that's posted that needed help. I'd even sometimes go to the extent of sending a postcard, or I had patches made with our Facebook group logo on and sending these to members, and this really helps to create loyalty in the group, and reminds your members that you're grateful for everyone that's active and keeps them coming back. My next top tip is to try and collaborate as much as you can. Collaborations are great because it basically exposes your Facebook group to another community of group of followers. So for example, this could be collaborating with a brand. So the obvious one for my community group would be an outdoor brand, and they obviously have a huge following and their own social media platforms. So if we collaborate and they share something about my Love Her Wild group, then that gets us in front of a huge audience and might welcome new members to join our Facebook group. The best way to collaborate with relevant brands is actually to do something as simple as a giveaway. They provide a service or a bit of kit or a product. You might ask, why would they give you something like that for free? But actually, what you're doing is providing them with free advertising. You've got a very targeted, specific group of people, and they can provide a product, and by putting posts out and talking about their brand, you're basically advertising them to people that are going to be interested in their brand. Another way you can collaborate is by teaming up with podcasters or bloggers and things like that, and offering to do interviews or to write articles. The final thing I wanted to talk about, and actually I cover this lots in my book Gather, I give it a whole chapter, because for me personally, on my own journey growing a Facebook group, it's been the most successful and useful tool that I've kind of done along the way, and that is providing something that is unique, that is really valuable to your members. Now that sounds a bit wishy-washy and a bit vague, but I'm going to explain what that means in terms of my own community. When I launched Love Her Wild, I did it alongside an adventure that members could apply to be part of. So I came up with this really unique, exciting adventure opportunity, which I called the Everest Adventure, and the aim was that a small team of women were going to try and climb the height of Everest over 5 days in the Lake District. Now there were just 5 spaces available on this adventure, and any women that signed up to them got free kit because I joined forces with an outdoor brand who provided that in sponsorship. I also arranged for a magazine and a newspaper to cover our story, and on the adventure was planning to make videos and films and take photos and to be posting in our Facebook group so that there was a whole community getting behind this team of women that were taking on this adventure. If you think about it, women that signed up to Love Her Wild were women that were looking to go on an adventure, and I just provided something that was really valuable to them, which was an adventure opportunity that was completely free, that came with free kit, was really exciting, and gave them an opportunity to be part of something that money couldn't buy. When I launched this, I ended up having hundreds of women applying to be a part of this opportunity. And not only that, because this was genuinely a really awesome opportunity, because it was free to join, because no one was benefiting from it, no one was making money from this, it got shared so much in other Facebook groups, it got shared by pages, by companies, I saw it being shared in newsletters, and this gave Love Her Wild an amazing amount of exposure. This was so successful that I've actually replicated this a few times over the years, and every time I do, I see a massive spike in new members joining the Love Her Wild community. You might be listening to this and thinking, oh, this isn't relevant for my Facebook group because, you know, we're not an outdoor community, therefore we can't do something as exciting as an adventure. But actually, you can come up with something valuable for your members no matter what your interest or what theme your Facebook group is. If, for example, you are a Facebook group for cake enthusiasts, then why not try and find an opportunity where you take a certain number of your members who apply to be part of that, because it needs to be exclusive and it needs to feel like something really special that they've been chosen for, and you organize for them to go and spend a day with someone who's a professional cake maker, and then alongside that you can contact a relevant brand or company to provide them perhaps with things like aprons and equipment that they can use for making their cake. Perhaps also invite some local press or a cake making magazine to see if they will cover the story. One final thing I'll say about organizing something like this is if you can make it extra special in the terms of the people that you actually select to take on this opportunity, that can really help you in your efforts to get exposure with press and media, and also for it being shared to a wider audience. So for example, if you can target mothers around Mother's Day, or perhaps you want to target those who are recovering from a mental illness, and you do this around Mental Health Awareness Week or something along those lines, if the people that are being involved also are really deserving of this opportunity and it's a really special thing that you can give them, then other groups are more likely to share it, brands are more likely to provide sponsorship, and press are more likely to cover the story. So those are just some of my top tips on how I grew my Facebook group to what it is today. I'm going to mention my book Gather again, a link to that is below, because obviously on my journey there were loads and loads of things that I did and loads of useful top tips and insights that I can provide, and all those I put down in this book. Growing a Facebook group is not an easy thing. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of persistence, and you've really got to be present and you've really got to want to do it. The final thing I will add is that your Facebook group at its core has to be authentic and for a good reason. If you are just starting a Facebook group and an online community to make more money or to benefit you, then it's not going to work because your members will see right through that. But if you genuinely want to make a positive difference in the lives of your members and you genuinely want to provide value to the people that join your Facebook group, then that is when it's going to thrive and be successful. Whatever your Facebook group is, I wish you lots of good luck with it. Keep chipping away at it. Just like me, it might end up being one of the best things you ever do. Thanks for watching today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also check out my other videos where I share how I built a dream career for myself doing what I love.